Boom. Hey internets. I had a good question from Gino, and he said, hey John, well, he said thank you for all the content and everything I'm dropping on the internet. I appreciate you guys watching. And he said, is it worth it? He had a few questions, but the one I want to feature is it worth it to make one garment that's not just a regular tee, or is it a waste to start with just one cut and sew piece? Okay, good question. So the reason I want to feature it is first of all, my answer is it is not a waste of time. You should do it. Anyone that watches my channel knows I'm a big proponent of starting with printables. Now, when I say printables, it's anything where you can buy a wholesale blank, and technically the term is decorating it, right? So if you screen print shirts, you screen print hoodies or crew necks, full zips, anything that you can purchase and screen print or embroider. So if you're doing hats and anything along that, and a lot of garments are getting out there on fringe and style, right? I did a video where I was outlining the Bella Canvas fast fashion line, where they're experimenting a lot with more fringe items that they wouldn't necessarily go into deep production with, but if they see demand, then they'll pick it up because they have the ability to create more of those blanks. So if you search for different items and not just your run-of-the-mill t-shirt, which is also a basic that you're going to need for a clothing line, you can find some really cool items that you can then put artwork on and not risk going into one garment and going into cut and sew production. Now, having said that, I'm a big fan of sort of the Etsy style of maybe doing one or two very custom pieces and then featuring that in the line. And for those, it might be more of a press piece where you're just kind of showing that item and showing sort of like a forward look on the style of the clothing line that you're trying to deliver. So the good thing with that is you could go all out with style. Anything that you sew together yourself, you can kind of show the direction of the fashion and sort of the art direction that you're kind of pushing the brand. And then you can surround that with printables and embroidery and stuff that you're selling wholesale, right? So it could even be in that case you can sew together like 3 or 4 different pieces just to kind of show style and say these are not for sale or they're not in production yet. And if the whole thing is drawing interest, creating awareness for the brand, and a lot of people could see that and go, wow, I really want that. It could lead into something that goes into production, but just remember, if you're going overseas, that number is going to be anywhere from 300 if you're lucky to like 500 pieces. So hence sort of the big gap that I always kind of talk about in the channel when you're going into big mass production. Now, I'm saying there's chop shops and there's sample makers who will do some sort of small production run for you. Those will be extremely expensive compared to what you can do in terms of getting mass production done in China. But you got to start where you can start. So that's why I think Gino, I think making a cut and sew item is a good idea, because you can kind of foreshadow what you want the brand to look like in full production, and you can just say that's not available, and you can surround it by graphics and graphic language and things that you can sell immediately that are printables or things you can embroider on. Okay, hope that helps. Any other questions that you guys have, anything that came up while you heard this, or just anything you want to ask, just drop it all down below. I read all the questions, and that's where I get 90% of the fodder for my videos. So drop it all down below. Follow me on social media when you have a chance. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.